Alright, this is a review of Legacy Testament of the Duc de Crecy. It's a game that came out, at least here in the United States, in 2013. It is a worker placement game with some interesting card play. I'm going to give you an overview of how the game plays. So, start out, you have a personal player board here. Start out with a matriarch or patriarch. I've got the matriarch side. The patriarch side is on the other side. This determines what you start with. Each side's a little different. So I'm going to start with them. I'm going to have my head of the family be a matriarch. I get a everyone gets a unique end of game scoring card. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, philosopher. I get 2 points for each different occupation of your family members in Generation 3. I can also earn points for marriage to painters in Generation 4, and for each venture or mansion in my family, I get a point. This area in red is triggered if in the during that last generation, third generation, I get venture card and use it instead of the mission on the venture card, because these are missions that you can pick up as you go. I can use it to activate these instead by placing it under the card. So I start with that. It's hidden information, it's only for me, but I'm going to keep it face up here. I only have one board here for one player. There is a solitaire version of the game. This is not what I'm playing. I'm just kind of playing this as a demonstration. I'm not going to put out other players on the board. But let me just go over this quickly. You have a player board here with some spaces you can go on, and your own personal player board. On your own personal player board, you can place a worker. You start out with 2 workers. And your matriarch or patriarch gives you a worker, and this one gives me a light blue worker. And this light blue is only good for this space that's light blue here on this board. So I start out with these 3 workers. I can go here to marry or arrange a marriage, and most of this game is focusing on marrying and having children and increasing your family legacy. I can go here and have children. I can go here and ask for money. I can go here and socialize, which is a way to get more friends. And the friends are these cards here. And these cards are, you're going to be using them by marrying them into your family. And when you marry them into your family, they will often have these beneficiary effects that will trigger. This gentleman, Friedrich the Blackmailer, that's a nice occupation. He costs 4 money to get him into your arrange the marriage, and you get, because you're paying a dowry, you get to increase your income by 1 and your honor by 1. How a blackmailer increases your honor, I don't know. And you get a random friend from each opponent's hand and keep it. Evidently you have a lot of information on people and it keeps them in check. I have several other people here. For example, Chantal, the butcher's daughter, is going to give me 2 friends. She has an occupation of a craftsman. She has French background, and she gives me 1 gold for each other person of this that has this occupation symbol in my family. Not all of them have that symbol, but these ones all do. This is Evgenia, she's Russian. She's the Tsarina's friend. Her profession is an aristocrat. And when you get her, you get this yellow token, which is a worker. These are one-time use actions, and it can be used to go to one of the yellow spaces on the board, and those happen to be acquire a title or contribute to the community which is fitting for her occupation as an aristocrat. So those are a few of the friends. Anyways, back to the board here. So this is my player board. I can go on these spaces and I can put more than one marker on each of these spaces, and nobody can block me on these spaces. These spaces out on the main board can be blocked, and they can only have one token at a time out there. So if someone goes here, that action is blocked until we reach the point in the game where those are cleared off the board, which happens quite often. This lets me acquire a title, and these are the titles you can get. For example, we have the Count here. It costs you 4 money to become the Count. You lose 2 friends as you are moving up in society, but you gain 2 prestige and an income from that title of a Count. There's a few other titles here you can get. Jumping over to the other side here, on the opposite side, we have Contribute to the Community, which is fairly similar, but in this case, you are paying money to, for example, in this case, visit the mayor, and you're going to get a prestige for that. You can also throw a feast for 3 money. You're going to get 4 points, and you're going to gain a friend. So those are some actions on that side of the board. Alright, here we have an action as Hire a Fertility Doctor, and you actually lose a friend and it costs you 2 money. But what this allows you to do is draw 2 children, and when your family members are married off and can have children, you can draw children off of this deck. Here it allows you to have children, but you can only have 1. This space allows you to have 2. And I happen to draw just randomly a boy and a complication, and I'll get into this in a little bit. I'll put it back in that order. This is by mansion, and this gives you 2 honor. And your honor is kept track on this board here, and as you move up this honor, these honor points will score you points periodically, and at the end of each generation is a spot where these honor points will score. So those will score 3 times during the game. This is a venture for making money, and when you do this venture, you actually lose 2 friends and a point, unfortunately, as this is considered to be beneath the aristocratic society here, starting your own venture. You can also undertake a mission. That will cost you a friend, but it can lead you to other victory point conditions that you can get. For example, in here, requirements: have at least 2 tradespeople in your family, pay a gold to the bank, and as a reward you get 3 points. You keep this card for the rest of the game, and it counts as that symbol, craftsman symbol. So these are advantageous to take, particularly earlier on in the game when you can build up and try to satisfy those requirements. I was supposed to get 8 money. I never drew that out, so I'll start with that. So those are the basic actions you can take. I'm just going to play through a few of these actions to get started. My first action, I'm going to marry off my matriarch here, and I'm going to pick a suitable husband. And let's see. This one here, let me see, I just want to check here what my end of game is for each different occupation. So I want to have a variety of occupations. John Paul is a physicist, and that gives me, he has an occupation symbol here as a scientist. Friedrich's the blackmailer really isn't considered an occupation. I think we'll choose John Paul the physicist first. But if I play him, I get plus 1 point for each other scientist in the family. I don't have any other scientists yet, so this isn't going to work out for me. But Friedrich's the blackmailer. I think I'm going to go with Friedrich's the blackmailer, even though I'm sort of delving into the shady side of society here and not going with the physicist, the honorable physicist. This guy has got a lot of, he wields a lot of control and power over people, evidently. He's going to increase my income, increase my honor, and I get a random friend from each opponent's hand. So we'll do that. I don't have any other opponent. I gotta pay 4 money. I don't have any other opponents, so I will simulate that by just drawing a friend blindly off the deck. And I got Mustafa the Spice Exporter. Joins my circle of friends here. Whenever you marry, I got to add an income. This income here, these money bags, will score you income periodically, which there are places on this board scattered out that they will score periodically. So I'm up to 2 income there, and I forgot to add my honor. They get to have a kid, and I draw a random card off the deck, and I have a boy. The boy starts out on this side, symbolizing the boy, and he will come of age soon, and then he will be eligible to be married off at that point. But for right now, I could still arrange a marriage with him, except I won't get all the benefits of the card when I arrange a marriage. But I will get any money that is coming my way, or I'll have to pay any money to arrange that marriage. Some cards give you like a dowry, like that +1. But a lot of them cost you money when you marry into them. Alright, so am I done my first action? Second action, I think I want to use my blue marker here and hire a fertility doctor. It's going to cost me a friend and 2 money, and I can pay 2 money. And it will cost me one of my friends. Who do I want to get rid of? Well, I have a lot of ones here that have professions that I would like to get into my family here. Those are quite nice. I don't think I'm going to be able to hold on to them all. The Spice Exporter, he gives me 2 money bags, which is pretty nice. And I really could use my income, get my income up. Let's see. She gives me this title marker, which is pretty nice. I think I'll hold on to that. She's going to give me some friends, and she's cheap to marry. I would really like to get this guy. I only have 2 money right now. I also have to consider that I have a boy, and I need to save somebody to... I really don't want to get rid of any of these. But I think the Spice Trader's taking a hike. Lost my friend, the Spice Trader. Alright. So, I lost my friend, the Spice Trader. I paid the money. Now I get to draw 2 children. And... complications at birth. I lose a mother or child. So I can never lose my matriarch, so I will lose the child that was coming, unfortunately. The child dies. The nice thing about doing the fertility doctor is that I had a complication, and I'm going to put this complication out near my board here because I can only get one of these per generation. So even though these are a real pain to get, they're not that bad because you only have to deal with 1 per generation and then you clear it. I did go to the fertility doctor, so I'm going to get another one, and I got another boy. I would like to have had a girl to marry some of these into my family, and I did get rid of my I have a lot of women friends here, so this actually is probably going to work out okay. So what do we got here next? I got one more action. I only have $2. I really could use some money. I could get $2 by going here. Or I can just get another friend. I think could go here and get another friend. Could get a venture and lose 2 friends. I don't want to lose friends. I could get a mission. Nice to have early. I think I will socialize and get a friend. And we will get, oh, this is going to give me a lot of money. The shopkeeper. She's got a profession and may have up to 4 children. Woo-wee. Okay. Sophia, the season's hottest debutante, gives me 3 money in a dowry. She's an aristocrat profession, and I get 2 money if I have 2 points if I have at least 12 money. Well, I'm not even close to that. I think, and Veronica, the bourgeois' daughter, gives me one of those title markers again. That's not bad either. I think, though, we'll go for the shopkeeper's daughter. You gotta think in terms of profitability here. End of the round. So, what happens now is we're going to take back the markers. I lose this. I get my workers back, and we're going to advance to this spot on the board, which is scoring money. And I have 2 money bags, so I'm going to get $2. That's done. Move on to the next round, and I get to place my workers out again. And I am going to have another child, I should say. And this time I get a girl. I'm going to go this side face up. Now you'll see there's a power on this, and that will activate when she gets flipped around this way. And she is a true beauty. Marrying her costs 2 money less. That's nice. Alright, so this is my kids. I got 3 kids. I got one more action, and I think what I will do is I would really like to find a way to raise the money bags up to generate more money, but I'm not going to be able to do that right now. So, let's see. I think I might get another friend. I'll socialize and get Erich the actor, a painter. Let's see if we can get him in the family here. So I got a lot of friends here. Round's over. That's one thing I like about the game is the flow is very quick here. So I'm going to get paid again because of the money bags. You see there's money bags here. That means I get paid $2. And this is the end of the generation. Now I'm going to score my honor. My honor is 1. I get a whopping 1 point. Now I score how many children I have. I have 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we will go to the next generation. And this marker means if I had any left over, you lose these at the end of the generation. So if you don't use them, you lose them. I didn't have any, so I'm good there. Now the children become of age. So now they are eligible. And that generation's over, so I am susceptible to complications at birth again. Alright, let's go through a little bit more here. Maybe one more round and then we'll stop. Alright, what am I going to do next? Well, I think I really want to Alright, so what are my thoughts on this game? Well, I can tell you just right up front, very confidently, this was one of my favorite games of last year. I think it's an overlooked game that I think has been a lot of fun to play. This is a game where the theme works so well, and it really, a story really begins to unfold as you play out these characters, and you almost want to tell their story and explain why they got into your family and what the consequences and benefits of that are. And I think that is just a really neat aspect of the game. I like how the family tree begins to unfold, and you see the generations after generations and how they begin to move up in society and such. And a lot of everything that seems to happen with the cards seems to match what the card is about. For example, Evgenia, she's going to get you access to titles and such because she comes from a very prestigious background. Other people who are involved with trades are going to get you things associated with their background. So the cards really work well that way. As you move up in society, you tend to leave friends behind, or if you conduct or do activities that are not considered of the nobility, you're going to lose friends and lose prestige. So I really like how that plays out, I think. One of the other excellent things about this game is I like that, you've got a couple of actions to take. The actions are pretty quick to play, and the pace of the game plays pretty well. It's got a really excellent pace. So I like that there is some rapid movement for your turns, and between turns is usually plenty of time to think about what you want to do, and the game really does move along. So that's a nice quality of this game. The card play is very interesting. I really do like how you are playing these cards out as people, and I do like the powers that you have on them and the way that you have to chain them together. And I was trying to work on creating a chain where I could take advantage of this guy, but also his discount to buying mansions, but also I had another one that would give me a green token where I could buy a mansion that I can't for some reason see it. Oh, here it is. That I wanted to get her in there first in order to trigger something else to happen, and the cards can chain off each other if you play them well. So that's a really excellent part of the game. I like the titles, and everything is just very thematic. This game has been compared a lot to Bruges, mostly because of the card play. I would say that this game is probably a lighter game, even though I still find it very entertaining. I think it's a bit of a lighter game than Bruges. But there are a couple of other things about Bruges that are not going to appeal to people, but I just happen to have some of the cards here. So here's some of the cards from Bruges, and everything in the game Bruges is done with these cards. Every action is represented here, and you do every action with a card. And the color of the card is important because it corresponds to a dice on the board and the different people that you can get, and the different threat markers that come out, and the buildings, and all of these things are tied in to the color of the card. So everything is done with these cards, whereas your actions are not really done with these cards. You're still placing out tokens in Legacy. But when you can get these cards into play, they will do certain things for you. So the play of the cards is different, but there are combinations in much the same way that you might try and combo out the way you're playing your cards in Bruges. So, you know, the card play in Bruges, I really, really enjoy the card play in Bruges. There is a lot less luck, I would say, involved with this game than there is in Bruges, and I'll try and explain that. Friends are, you have a tableau of friends out here, so you know what is coming out, and you can see it. Bruges, the cards come out like this. You don't know what you're getting, and you can get a draw. You don't know what you're going to draw, other than you have a little bit of choice over the color in the sense that you have two stacks to choose from, but even that's not always going to work out. Also in Bruges, you roll a set of dice, and the dice can determine how strong certain actions are on the cards. For example, getting money is dependent upon the value of the dice. And some other actions are dependent upon the value of the dice. Now what can happen, I think, in Bruges is you get a draw of luck, and then you roll the dice and you get another layer of sort of chance built on that. So you kind of get almost at times a double whammy on chance, and that can hurt you. You know, some people are complaining about some cards might be overpowered or this and that, but I think really the main complaint of Bruges is that sort of double level of chance that's in the game. I still love Bruges because I just love playing the cards out, and I don't mind a little bit of that. You know, you're going to find times in the game where it doesn't go your way, and if you get a string of bad luck, yes, you're probably going to lose the game. But I don't mind that so much, because I really enjoy the card play in Bruges. I probably enjoy the card play in Bruges more than I enjoy it here, but this provides some interesting play as well. Whereas everything in Bruges is from top down, all the card play. So, let's see, what else can I say about this game? I'm really hoping that there'll be an expansion, because I would love to see more cards come out and more interesting ways and combos that can come out. And I hope that something like that does come out, that the game has sold well enough for that to happen. You know, I don't know how well it's sold. I think it's been an overlooked game, so I am hoping that the support is there maybe to get an expansion on this in the future. I really do hope so. It's a very solid game, and I think it's a very unique game. And I tend to be a person that I really appreciate games that have a little bit of a unique angle on something, even though it does at times seem like every game is trying to do that nowadays at the expense sometimes of sound gameplay. But this has a unique feel to it, as well as a very solid, very sound gameplay. So I very much recommend this one.